Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the 1 day time frame. And before we get into the meat of what I want to talk about today, I want to briefly go over what I talked about in the last video because I found out that the sound quality was really bad and figured out why. I was on my apparently on my car microphone and not my phone microphone. So, I was talking about the areas of resistance that we are butting our heads up against, and they're in these two green circles here. The first being where we're at currently, we are butting up against the top of the daily Gaussian channel marked in the green dotted line here. This is the mean band below it, and much farther below that is the bottom of the daily Gaussian channel. I've traced these so that they're visible on different time frames without having to pull the channel up and have everything change color and get confusing. Because my chart is confusing enough as it is. So try not to. You gotta stay focused, and just not gonna remove any of these lines right now. It's too much of a pain in the butt because I draw them pretty exactly, and it takes a long time. And to go through the process of removing, even if I just hid them on different time frames, is a real pain in the ass. So when you watch these videos, make sure you're focused on the videos preferably on your TV or something like that, or on your computer screen, where you can get a good view of what I'm talking about. So, in addition to butting our head right up here against the top of and trying to break through the top of the daily Gaussian channel here, we also have a moving average band here. The red is the 200 daily, the green is the 100 daily. Somewhere down here, the blue is the 50, and there should be a white one right there. That's the 20. So I got 20, 50, 200, and the 100. A lot of people say we got rejected yesterday off the 200, but we didn't. Actually, you can see here, we got rejected off the 100 daily yesterday. Um, so we have the 200 daily, the 100 daily, the top of the daily Gaussian channel, and as you'll see in a minute, maybe. Also, the 200 weekly is here. The 200 weekly and 200 daily are right on top of each other, kind of intertwined at the moment. So that's the first resistance we are attempting to break through. We've tried to get through it once and twice, and third time's the charm, right? So the other resistance coming up here in the next couple weeks, in the blue is the top of the 5 day Gaussian channel. In the red is the top of the weekly Gaussian channel. And they're converging right up here along with this white horizontal dotted line that I have. And that is 28,800, which is a key level of resistance and support that goes way, way back. And you shouldn't be all well aware of this. So those are all coming together right here in the mid-October, second, third week of October. Here, that'll be another level of resistance, as well as this orange band. Now let's zoom out quickly, orange band, the orange trend line. The orange trend line. I didn't want to do that. Too many things are coming up. The orange trend line. Oh, I gotta zoom out even more, don't I? There we go. That's why it looked funny. The orange trend line goes back to our all-time high here in November of 2021. And also touches right here at our high in July of 2023. So it's the top um, of all the points, whatever, our highest points that we've hit since the all-time high. And it's just those 2 points, actually. Have we hit it again? We have not quite hit it again. So again, maybe third time's the charm on that one, right? Um, so that's a major level. Once we break above these resistances, all right here, that's what we're attempting to do right now. That's the big move that we're going to have, and it's going to happen this month, the third week of October, probably, possibly sooner. Maybe after the CPI data release, which is here on October 12th, next week, less than a week away. And I also have the FOMC meeting marked here in the on November 1st by this vertical line. So that's what I was going over in the previous video. I just switched to the weekly time frame, same chart, just to show you that the 200 weekly is also right here. This is what my green circle looks like on the weekly time frame. Here's the top of the daily Gaussian channel. There's the 200 weekly in red. I also found out that the 50 weekly is right there, right here as well at 27.9. So everything's right here around 964, I should say. Everything's right here within $100 of $28,000 resistance here, and these are all right around 28.7, 28.8 right here, and the orange trend line is somewhere in between. And in purple here, this purple one I have is the 200 daily. So you can see how the 200 weekly and 200 daily are intertwined right now. And currently, I'm working on a theory where we once the 200 daily starts coming up off of the 200 weekly is when we see a big move, usually in Bitcoin price. That's for another discussion. While we're on the weekly here, I want to zoom way out to go over once again the general scheme of things, what's going on in the Bitcoin chart, because I hear a lot of people, a lot of doomers and gloomers out there. And these people pretending to have serious discussions about how much lower Bitcoin could go and whatever. And it's as if they don't have a clue as to what's going on. They don't have a clue. And it's as if they never looked at a Bitcoin chart. Do they even understand what they don't even understand what's going on? I'm going to turn off the moving average ribbon. And the reason you hear all these people talk is because they want to get viewers. That's their job, to get viewers to pay for their ads. Okay? Nobody wants to tune in and hear, yeah, it's just about to come. Turning point's right around the corner. Well, I guess you want to listen to that too, but that's mostly what I'm about. But yeah, the doom and gloom, the fear. Fear drives everything. So this is exactly what is going on with Bitcoin, and it's very simple. And a lot of people like to make fun of TA guys that go off of lines and trend lines and parallel channels and all and triangles and all that jazz. But it really is very simple. They think that they're smarter because they have these curvy lines and they work with oscillators and whatever and all these different uh, wave pattern, these wave indicators with dots and different colors and everything like that. And in those things, I'm not knocking the importance of those things too. But a lot of those indicators don't tell you much more than if you just switch to a lower time frame on your chart as far as momentum and stuff like that. And all those things are various uh, equations. They represent various equations, subtracting and averaging, closing and highs and lows in the price. And lines on a chart are equations too, based on price action. So, and you know what's really, really funny? A lot of these indicators where people give you uh, ranges and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, well, according to the indicator, it's we're bullish above this and bearish above that. And you know what? Those are the same numbers I get off of my triangle, okay? Because that's all the equation is doing. That's all the indicator is doing is spewing out numbers that you would get if you just drew a triangle on a chart or a parallel channel or something like that. So, anyway, here we are. Bitcoin price action since 2011 here. Now, our major channel, parallel channel that we're trading in, the bottom of that channel is the top of our all-time high in May of 2011. So other than this action here, we're all pretty much within that channel from 2013 on. And what Bitcoin does is it trades in this bull flag and then bull run. And these are all perfectly parallel with one another. And the price action you can clearly see is within these channels. And if I zoomed in even more, you could see how they price action interacts right here in these channels that I've drawn. And then it comes over here out of the bull flag, and we go to the bull run in the bottom portion of this uh, ascending parallel channel. And then we go into our bull flag pattern again. I got to zoom out so you can see it clearly. There we go. We're in our bull flag, and then we do our bull run right here in the bottom of that um, ascending channel. And then another bull flag pattern. And where are we at right now? We're about to enter the bottom of that ascending parallel channel right here. So this is where I see us heading up right here. Boom, boom, boom. And I have it drawn out. That's why I have this here. I see us coming up to, and I have various reasons for this, but we won't get into now because I've gone over this time and time again. This is where I see us heading by maybe January. I have it marked off here as December by the end of the year, about 58,000, anywhere from 58 to 62, right around this area. Um, by end of year or sometime in January, maybe even late January, and then coming back down to 48,000. And I don't know, 48,000 comes up a lot. I hear that number a lot. I don't know where other people are getting it from. I'm getting it from right here because on every cycle at the halving, we are at this point. We are at the uh, first run up after our all-time high. After descending from the all-time high, the first run up, that is the same price that we are at halving every single time. So that's that. And I'm on the weekly. That's good because I'm going to turn on the weekly Gaussian channel. And that's where I get this X right here, this dashed line. Let me get these words out of the way. Coincides with the top of the weekly Gaussian channel. And that's where our parabolic run starts every cycle. You can see here, top of the line, over to there, boom. That's the price at where the parabolic run started. Same back here, top of the weekly Gaussian channel, all the way across. Now it looked like it was going to start here, and I guess that was a fake out because we came back down. But ultimately, right here is where the parabolic run started. And does it even do the same here? I mean, this is way back in the beginning. It's a little bit different. Actually, it's kind of reversed here. No, well, yeah. This one quite didn't work out. The parabolic run actually started at the halving here the first time, and that was at the height of our first peak, our first run up after the top here. So that's where all my predictions are very, very well thought out and are based on what has happened in the past every single time. Every single time. I mean, so where are we at now? We're right here. And basically, let me turn the automatic off here. Basically, we've been scooting along the bottom of this trend line. Now, I have a lot of other parallel lines marked off here. And the reason for those is because this is a trend line. It's not a line in the sand. We've broken through it even back here in with the FTX collapse, just barely. But as you can see, price action followed right along that line. We followed right along that line. But in the past, you have to go way, way back. You have to go way, way back to 2015. We did come below it here. And if you go way, way back, I mean, prior to 2013, we were below that trend line. That was in Bitcoin's infancy. But since 2013, that's the trend line. That's the parallel channel we've been trading at, and this is the bottom of the parallel channel. Now, you can see these. I gotta get it off to the auto. Sometimes auto is good, and sometimes auto is not. So I have these other lines that are parallel here. It's important that everything is parallel. Because this is the direction of price action. This is the angle that everything is moving. And price action just trades between various parallel lines to this angle. Let me get these words off here again. So the ultimate low is this point here in August 15. I don't know what happened there, but it's just a wick. This is just a wick down, a weekly wick. And other than that weekly wick, price action was up here at the red line. So that's important to note. And then you can see this other purple line above that. Now, why are those lines important? Because, with hearing all the doomers and gloomers speak, it's good to have a worst case scenario. And ultimately, we don't want to go below this 19,600. This went down in March. And I no way do I think this is going to happen. But painting out a worst case scenario where Bitcoin is still going to be, going upwards and onwards from here, and it's still bullish. It's still a bullish uh, price movement as far as Bitcoin goes, even if it came all the way down here to about almost 20,000, maybe 19 something. And this is that red line that I talked about before. Now, could we come all the way down to that purple line? We could, but that would be troublesome. That purple line down here is around 50. Yeah, that would be, it's around 15.8, and that's around this all-time low. Could do that, but that would be really, really troublesome. And I don't think anybody, all the big boys that are getting in right now, there is so much accumulation here, so much. And when we zoom in here, you can just see here on the weekly time frame, everything's getting bought up right here at. Well, it's getting bought up here now. It's moved up. Everything was getting bought up here at 25, about 25.8. But it's now moving up, and it's all getting bought up here around 27,400 ish, somewhere around there. So it keeps moving up, and everybody's buying this up because it's scarce. There's not enough of it to go around. So people thinking that it's going to, there are serious discussions about, is the low in? Is the low really in yet? And all this other. They're full of shit. They just want to hear themselves talk. They're all full of hot air. It's like all those guys at the bar late at night having serious discussions about the world, solving all the world's problems, or guys staying up all night drinking coffee at Denny's. All right, so I only got a few minutes left. While I was away, I drew these white trend lines, and this is the triangle that everybody was looking at. This trend line here, since FTX, since back here. But that was the wrong one. Look at this white line. It's not parallel to anything. That was the wrong one. That's why we broke here, and all the big boys caused this because this was false. It was a false narrative right here. They knew they could take us down here. I called this out. I'm like, they're dumping on us. It was a major dump by the whales because we have to follow the pattern. So let's remove this white line. That's false. However, we still have the top of this triangle right here, and we have come up to it here. So we are reaching an apex here with the orange, perfectly formed symmetrical triangle right here. That orange trend line forms a perfect symmetrical triangle here, with the apex about 27.5 where we're trading at now. This is a nice ascending triangle right here with the top at about 31,005 or so. And we're tightening into this apex here, and big moves are coming, and it's not going to be down, boys and girls. Even if it was, I don't see us coming down. There's my red. I don't see us coming down below 25.3. I mean, even at worst case scenarios, some sort of black swan or whatever, depending on how bad it is. But there would have to be something major that's going to get us below whatever, below 27.5, 27, 28,000 where we're trading at now. Something major would have to happen for that to, and it's not going to be this recession that everybody's been talking about for the past 2 years. The economy's fine. That's why the Fed is keeping its rates high. The economy's doing great. And I think we're going to have a really nice. I think Powell's doing a great job. He's doing a great job of pulling us out of this the inflationary mess that we're in. I think all the markets are going to do fine. The major markets are having a natural pullback. But anyway, I don't want to go on and on about that. Get back to what I really wanted to talk about this video was price action here. I saw us come up here, get rejected off the 100 weekly or daily, whatever it was, and then dump down. They knew once we had this rejection, they could dump and buy back in down here. But what was this support level? I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was supporting us here. It didn't seem to make sense until I drew this dotted line, which is perfectly parallel to our major trend line and all the other lines. That dotted line that I drew right there at that support, I'm going to have to go on to a different time frame. Let's move to a daily time frame and see where this white dotted line right here goes. Where does that white dotted line go? Remember, it's just right above the major trend line. Well, look, it looks like it goes right here. Does it look like it goes right here? And now let's move off of that. You really, really, really got to zoom in here. But when you do zoom in here, you'll see that that white dotted line is right here at the wick on COVID, the COVID crash. That's what the support is. And why is that significant? Well, first of all, that was just a daily wick. We're on a daily time frame now. That was just a daily wick down to whatever, about 38 and change. And it closed, well, actually, it closed all the way up here at 56. But it started the day at 48. So that's a pretty big day. But so we had that wick down to there, which is our support right now on that line that is parallel to all the other lines. And what happened afterwards? That's the point. What happened afterwards? Well, you can see we're going from the bottom left of the screen to the upper right of the screen. And actually, we're following that green trend line. Oh, that's interesting. That green trend line is the center line of our upwards channel. See, as you look more and more at these things, you get more and more insight as to what's going on. And where is that? Oh, come on. And here is the green center line of our channel, which I drew. I drew as best I could, trying to estimate its position, and so we are coming right up on that. That's why I believe. Oh, the other thing is that I wanted to talk about. I've made this lavender or fuchsia colored parallel channel with the green center line, and that we've been trading in that price action since we dumped out. Remember when I talked about us dumping out of that fake trend line? when we dumped out of that fake trend line, we found resistance right here on the top of this parallel channel. Although we did break through it there with these fake outs, we found resistance with the top of this parallel channel trading along this green center line. And this is where essentially we're moving in this channel. So we're coming away from, it's okay that this is not parallel to our other things because we're pulling off of this line. This is where price action is going, pulling away from our trend line. And what's really, really interesting is that the top of this channel happens to meet up right here at the beginning of our bull run. So everything here, and I didn't draw that because that's where it happened to meet up. I drew it because this is where it acted as resistance here, and the center line. Center lines are usually the key thing in drawing the parallel channels, where you see a lot of price action using it as support and resistance. I'm going to stop right there for